The dinner rush had ended, and as I cleared tables with aching feet, I noticed the homeless man outside, huddled against the cold. He looked hungry, so I instinctively gathered untouched leftovers and brought them to him. I didn't realize then how much that small act would shape everything that followed. Inside, the warmth of the restaurant contrasted with the bitter night air outside, yet his image lingered, still, silent, wrapped in a thin, worn jacket. As I straightened chairs, I glanced out again. He hadn't moved. Compelled, I wrapped more food, just bread and soup, and slipped out, unnoticed, to offer it. Our brief exchange, quiet and wordless, carried a weight I couldn't explain. Back inside, the restaurant pulsed with warmth and motion. Lisa approached, tense, warning of important guests arriving soon. The air thickened with pressure, but my thoughts kept drifting to the man outside. But before we continue, smash the like button, subscribe, and ring the notifications bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. The next day brought a busy lunch rush, filled with noise and energy. Still, my mind was elsewhere, caught between the chaos of the restaurant and the quiet weight of that cold night. I couldn't stop thinking about the homeless man. Something in his quiet dignity lingered, like a faint melody in the back of my mind. While working, a regular named John noticed my distraction. He mentioned having seen the man before, often during the dinner rush. That caught my attention. If he was always nearby, why this spot? Why our corner? I tried to stay focused, but the thought kept resurfacing. Could there be more to his presence than I realized? The next day, Lisa gathered us near the kitchen, her tone urgent. We needed to elevate everything: presentation, service, focus. Her energy drove the team forward. But even in the middle of the rush, I found myself glancing out the window, hoping for a glimpse of him. The week passed in a blur of noise and motion. Yet, in every lull, I looked outside. Each time he wasn't there, I felt a strange mix of relief and disappointment I couldn't explain. One afternoon, Rachel noticed my distraction, but I brushed it off. By Friday, the restaurant was full, and while serving a table, I spotted him again, standing farther away, more worn down than before. His clothes looked thinner, the cold biting at him. The sight pulled at me. After my shift, I packed some leftovers and stepped into the quiet night. When I handed him the food, our eyes met briefly. No words were exchanged, but something passed between us. Quiet, grounding, real. Back inside, Rachel gave me a knowing look. Her reaction stayed with me. Was it just a soft spot or something more? I wasn't sure. All I knew was that helping felt right. Maybe it was the way others overlooked him, or how invisible he seemed. I couldn't shake the feeling that small acts might actually matter. Later, while clearing tables, a customer mentioned the people we pass every day, especially the homeless. His words echoed in my mind, deepening the sense that behind every face was a story waiting to be seen. Tom shared a strange story about a wealthy tycoon who disguised himself as homeless to observe how people treated him. I brushed it off as an urban legend, but the idea lingered, a quiet thought that danced in the back of my mind as I worked. Before leaving, Tom left a generous tip and thanked me. The gesture surprised me. It left me reflecting on the quiet, fleeting connections that can have lasting impact. Later, while cleaning, I noticed Lisa in a tense conversation with two people in suits. Their serious expressions caught my attention. I tried not to stare, but curiosity tugged at me. Something felt significant. The weekend came in a blur of weddings and crowded tables. The restaurant buzzed with energy, and Lisa was more intense than usual, checking every detail and stressing the importance of upcoming guests. Her urgency kept us all sharp, pushing through the chaos of clattering plates and shouted orders. I focused on my tasks, though questions lingered. Were the suited visitors and the important guests somehow connected? There was no time to dwell, only to keep moving forward. I rushed between tables, clearing dishes, refilling drinks, and making sure everything looked just right. The demands were overwhelming, but I kept my head down, determined not to let the chaos win. Rachel and I traded jokes to lighten the mood, our laughter cutting through the clamor. We turned our tasks into a playful competition, racing to outdo each other. The stress faded with each shared laugh. These small moments of humor helped us push through the madness. During a quick break, I glanced outside and saw the homeless man again, standing quietly at the edge of the crowd. He blended into the city's nightlife, unnoticed, almost like a ghost. But to me, he was a constant presence, a reminder of unseen lives on the same streets. That familiar tug pulled at my heart, even in the middle of a hectic night. Rachel broke my thoughts with a nudge, and soon plans were made for post-shift drinks. A casual hangout felt like the perfect way to unwind after such a relentless week. Laughter, stories, and a few drinks promised the break we all needed. Later, we gathered and shared tales from the job, those odd, funny, or unforgettable moments that only restaurant work could offer. The tension of the week melted away, replaced by the comfort of shared experience and well-earned laughter. Someone cracked a joke, sending us into laughter as we recalled odd moments, like the time a pigeon swooped into the restaurant, triggering chaos. It felt good to unwind, our shared experiences bringing us closer. Stories flowed freely, blending into one another, building memories that would carry us into the next shift. I casually mentioned my encounters with the homeless man, and to my surprise, it sparked interest. Others asked questions, curious about who he was and why I kept helping. His quiet presence had stirred something in all of us, a reminder of the unnoticed lives unfolding around us every day. Reactions were mixed. Some offered caution, others admiration. Rachel clinked her glass with mine in support. The encouragement, even half-joking, lifted my spirits. It made me feel that maybe these small acts mattered more than I realized. By the end of the night, I felt sure of one thing. I would keep offering food, quietly and without fuss. There was something about him, a quiet dignity, that stayed with me. Despite any risk at work, it simply felt like the right, human thing to do. The new week kicked off with a surprise inspection from upper management. The restaurant buzzed with nervous energy as we scrambled to make sure everything was perfect. The news came suddenly, catching us off guard. Lisa moved through the restaurant, tension visible in her face as she reminded us to stay sharp. Her urgency set off a flurry of cleaning and last-minute adjustments. Our usual rhythm shifted into a careful balancing act between routine and stress. During the pre-shift meeting, Lisa stood with a serious expression, scanning the team. She didn't say it outright, but we all sensed an evaluation was near. We exchanged knowing glances, silently hoping we'd pull it off. As I got back to work, wiping tables and arranging plates, my mind drifted again to the man outside. His image was constant, tugging at my thoughts between tasks. No matter how busy the shift became, I kept wondering about him, curious when he might return. He felt like a puzzle I couldn't quite solve. The restaurant buzzed as we geared up for another busy night. Prepping, checking tables, and finishing final touches brought a nervous energy. Excitement mixed with tension filled the air. Just before dinner, Lisa discreetly pulled us aside. Her tone was quiet, almost secretive. A high-profile guest was expected, and she stressed the importance of discretion. The news made my heart race. For a fleeting moment, I wondered if it was somehow connected to the man outside, but quickly dismissed it. There was no room for distraction now. I focused, determined to help make the evening smooth. The dinner shift kicked off in full force, quickly descending into the usual controlled chaos. Tables filled fast, laughter and conversation rising as we moved from one task to the next, each of us working at full speed. Orders streamed in non-stop, laughter and conversation rising above the clatter. Rachel and I exchanged quick grins, thriving in the chaos. Still, my thoughts drifted outside. Through the glass, I spotted the familiar figure, the homeless man, calm and observant as ever. His presence grounded me. Despite the risk, the pull became too strong to ignore. I slipped outside, found him in his usual spot, and offered a spare meal I'd tucked away. Curiosity got the better of me, and I gently asked about his story, hoping he might share. Though he said nothing, the moment felt meaningful, another piece of a larger puzzle I couldn't quite see. As I returned, Lisa caught me. Her disapproval was clear, and her reminder about the restaurant's focus, not charity, stung more than I expected. I nodded, promising caution, even if my instincts told me otherwise. Later that night, Lisa gathered us in the kitchen with a serious tone. A VIP visit was on the horizon, and privacy was paramount. The room grew tense, curiosity thick in the air. As the team dispersed, I lingered near the kitchen door and accidentally overheard her speaking with another manager. Something about their conversation hinted that the upcoming visit might be far more unusual than any of us expected. "The visitor likes being incognito," a voice whispered. My curiosity flared as I backed away, replaying the words. An anonymous guest who valued secrecy? The thought lingered, pulling me back to the man outside. During a lull, Rachel joked about secret billionaires dining among us. Her teasing lightened the mood, but the idea stuck. It felt absurd, like something from a movie, yet our brief encounters replayed in my mind, deepening the mystery. Lisa's warnings echoed, but something about him called to me. Quiet, impossible to ignore, Rachel noticed. Her playful teasing couldn't hide the concern in her eyes. I nodded, knowing I'd keep helping, no matter how careful I had to be. It felt right, an instinct rooted in compassion. Days passed in a blur of orders and clinking glassware. No VIPs appeared, yet I kept peeking outside, searching for him. One day, while clearing tables, John, a regular, smirked about catching me sneaking food again. "You're like the restaurant's own Robin Hood," he joked. I laughed, but his words reminded me why I kept helping, even if others didn't understand. Later, during a calm moment, John spoke more seriously, urging me to trust my instincts. His kindness left a warm glow, bolstering my confidence. Inspired, I glanced outside more often, searching for the familiar figure. His absence left a quiet void. Rachel noticed and teased, but I just smiled, holding on to hope. The next day, Lisa pulled me aside, not to reprimand, but to remind me about uniform compliance. Her pointed glance at my crumpled apron hinted at ongoing evaluations. That evening, walking home, the clink of coins in my pocket stirred memories. Passing a beggar, I froze. It was him. Recognition lit his face, and something in the moment felt oddly comforting. Another chilly night, I spotted him again from a distance. He waved, making sure I saw. I quickened my pace, questions swirling. The next day, I couldn't shake the urge to see him again, to know he was okay, to be sure he was eating. Back at work, the familiar rhythm returned, but a quiet pride stirred in me. My small actions no longer felt invisible, they carried weight. The shift shifted when Lisa called us in with urgency. An important charity event was coming, one that could elevate the restaurant. Excitement buzzed as assignments were handed out. I was paired with Rachel to manage seating, and while the task brought focus, a thought lingered. Maybe the man outside and this event weren't so separate. As preparations unfolded, the idea clung to me like a shadow. Perhaps this event held answers, or at least a glimpse into his story. Working with Rachel on table layouts was easier with shared laughter and memories, though my curiosity never faded. By the end of the night, camaraderie bound us together, ready for what lay ahead. When the big day arrived, the restaurant glowed with elegance. Finely dressed guests filled the room, and the air was charged with anticipation. The event felt special, almost magical, and I couldn't shake the hope he might appear. Amid the rush, I polished cutlery under soft lights, scanning the crowd for a familiar face. Excitement simmered beneath the chaos. Rachel and Lisa greeted guests with practiced grace, setting the tone for an evening that unfolded like a grand performance. From my spot, I watched the seamless flow, though my thoughts kept drifting. Then I saw him. Sharper clothes, confident posture, deep in conversation with someone important. The transformation was startling. Was this really the same man I'd quietly helped? The scene felt like a puzzle I didn't know I was solving. Mystery lingered in the air, subtle yet insistent. The more I watched, the more I sensed something just out of reach. As the night wound down, questions only grew. Heart pounding, I wove through the thinning crowd, determined to find a sliver of truth. When he turned to me with a warm, knowing smile, my nervousness eased. The revelation stunned me. I hadn't just helped a stranger, but a multimillionaire philanthropist in disguise, quietly seeking genuine compassion. He'd been testing kindness in an indifferent world, and my small gestures had meant far more than I imagined. He promised support if I ever faced hardship, hinting at future opportunities. Overwhelmed, yet comforted, I felt a deep validation that kindness mattered. As he slipped into the night, the connection lingered, proof that a simple act could spark something far greater. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and ring the notifications bell so you never miss amazing tales like this one.